There's one stock that is about to break out. It is a pharma company. They have over $3 billion in revenue. They came out of a merger from one of Pfizer's divisions and another company. And they develop Viagra, which you know what that does, and then Lipitor, which I think is like a fat loss thing, and then Xanax, which is kind of hardcore. So this is a massive company. Pharma's definitely, well, biotech, pharma, I don't want to say which is which exactly, but I'm kind of merging them together, is doing pretty good right now. AstraZeneca somehow sidestepped the tariffs with some sort of like $50 billion commitment. I'll talk about that. And there's some other companies sort of riding those tailwinds as well. So let's jump into the chart for VTRS, the ticker Viatris. And it's not financial advice, but I think there's a lot of opportunity here.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 So this is the chart, and the reason this is interesting is this green line is the 200-day moving average. And if you open up Robinhood or whatever, that green line and sort of lines very similar to that green line come by default on the chart, just to give an example of how sort of well regarded, how often people look at that line, and how much it matters. Okay, so I'm just delaying while I log in my Robinhood, but don't worry, I'm logged in. We'll jump right in. We'll see that line. And this company as well is interesting because they have $3 billion in revenue. They're the big dog. We'll jump into Robinhood here, but they give money back to shareholders as well. And they also repurchase their shares, kind of like Apple would. So this is like a gold star pharma company. And this is what the chart looks like. Okay. If I just pull it up here, VTRS. You can see these lines here. So these lines really, really matter. In this case, this is the 100. Okay, this is the 100 day moving average. You can see it got over there, held over there, and now it's sort of basing over there. And if I do this, change this to 200, right? You can change this as well. I'm just giving an example and then show that. You can see it just crossed over that line, so that red line. So a lot of people would have noticed that. I'm talking like high net worth, family office, quant fund, fundamental long fund, individual investor, retail investor, your grandmother. All of broker charting software show that line. So it's a big deal. So I personally, you can use Robinhood, you can use whatever you want. I am going to subject you to the one I use. Sorry in advance. Or, maybe you like this, but probably not. Everyone likes to look at their own charts, right? So it got over there. It's holding over there. So that's really important. And now there's a low risk entry where you can buy on this higher low. And even as the market sort of cratered, this is showing relative strength, which is actually pretty visible if I open up this thing. It's just going to take a second to load, but you can see on this line down here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's the line, and it's way up. So let's Reddit. Reddit actually looks horrible. It looks like a short for sure. This one, BTRS, is starting to be up a little bit. Okay, it's not way up at all, but it is showing some strength to the market. So we can see that here. The market went down, and then if we really zoom out, sure, this thing has been fairly weak relative to the market, but interestingly for us, which are medium and short-term investors, I'm talking like I haven't talked in a while. This thing moved up back in August, cooled off, but you can see that it does make quick moves, quick bursty moves, and that's what we're looking for a few months. And it's like, why are you talking about some stock, Sam, that's barely moves up? It's delayed for the market. Why don't you talk about the big dogs? Why don't you talk about Nvidia, Palantir, Microsoft? Well, Microsoft barely moves, first of all. Okay, it did have a good buying opportunity, but then as the market cratered, it just sort of cratered. So although there was low risk, it never materialized. Nvidia was the massive breakout. A slip there, and then it turned into a breakdown as the market did that. And Palantir almost looks like a short here. Okay, it's forming sort of lower lows, and it's super wicky. You can't buy these massive companies even if they have big growth stories over the next several months, quarters to a year. So with all that in mind, we're looking for little opportunities where there is some relative strength, and that's where VTRS shines. You do want to not get in before earnings. Well, if you do, maybe you get a little move up and then sell some out. Okay. But keep this on your radar. This is the story about this stock. If I pull this up, yeah, it's definitely down. We talk about that. This is the story, this facility issue in India. So this is the story over here. In December 24, FDA issued a warning letter, import alert for Viatris indoor manufacturing, Indori, or whatever that is, in India due to regulatory compliance issues. So this impacted a lot of their products, and this reduced revenues by a lot. Okay, so I think, yeah, the fourth quarter revenues are down year over year, but guidance came in lower than expected. I think that's pretty much been baked in at this point. Okay, the stock got crushed. Okay, yeah, the market came down, but the stock stayed crushed. But now I think there's an opportunity to get in, and notably, they did respond to that letter. So that's really important. This is basically what they did. They submitted a remediation plan. They acknowledged the violations, outlined corrective preventative measures, and they engaged a third-party consultant for ensuring compliance. So, yeah, FDA didn't love it. Maintain the warning letter and the import alert, but they're working on it. And again, the stock price looks like it's still going to go up anyway. And they did mention as well here something about guidance being maintained for 2025 as a whole. So that's pretty good. See here, they reaffirmed their 2025 financial guidance, including an estimated $2+ billion in net cash from operating activities. So even though it declined a bunch, revenue was down a little bit, still guidance is reaffirmed, and they're working with the FDA there in conversations. So yeah, these are some recent sort of highlights, but I'm not an M&A expert. So if they transfer their portfolio for $3 billion, so be it. I don't really know if that's legitimate or useful or not. Of course, it's legitimate, but I don't know if it's constructive in the long term or not. Selling something for $3 billion sounds great. Reducing debt sounds good. But as investors for a few months or less, again, I don't know how important that is. These are the drugs we know, and they have a lot of different products. They're in Pennsylvania. They operate all over the country, all over the world. So that makes sense why that India facility, 1 billion patients is crazy. Why that India facility FDA issue may have occurred. They have a huge number of, it's kind of like Meta having some issue with data privacy. It's like, well, they serve 3 billion people, right? Meta does. So it's not surprising there's issues. Trump is not super favorable in terms of the whole drug pricing thing. He doesn't like private benefit, whatever those are called, PBMs, the things that make pharma a bunch of money. So we'll see what happens, but this company just seems to sell drugs. So, all we have to really say is, are they continuing to do that? They said they reaffirmed their guidance. They still have $3 billion in revenue. I think everything's still a go. And that's the move. It can make explosive moves. It's shown that. It might be like, oh, explosive is. It's pretty explosive, 20%. It's not a huge sort of It's not like they've traded a huge amount of volume, you know, $30-40 million a day, but still, there's a little opportunity there for anyone who has less than, say, $50 million in an account. You could definitely throw 5% of your portfolio, $2 million in this company, and you should be all right. Maybe, you know, you cause a little bit of a 20-cent drop or whatever. Someone can tell me in the comments. But there's some liquidity here. And then in terms of these other companies, sure, they haven't done great. Pfizer, Merck, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, etc. But you know what? You tell me where to invest right now. You can't buy these. We already talked about them. You can't buy, you know, Amazon looks bad too. There's really not a lot out here. The super speculative stuff is coming down, rare earths, quantum, etc. So you have to look for little pockets of opportunity. I think this is one such pocket. And yeah, there are some sort of broader market trends as well that do matter. Besides just their earnings, I think the whole AstraZeneca sort of tariff agreement is important. Basically what happened was AstraZeneca committed to a $50 billion investment in US-based research and development over the next 5 years in exchange for a 3-year exemption from tariffs on imported drugs. So this is what Trump's all about. You know, 3,000 jobs in Virginia, and people are excited who are investors. So that's from Barron's. So there's that, and then there's the AI thing. You know, Tempest AI is an example that's recently had a big jump up in price. Pfizer committing to AI drug development as well, of course. ChatGPT, OpenAI, Sam Altman, always using drug development as an example. You know, cancer treatment, imaging improvements as to why ChatGPT is basically going to save humanity. Whether that's true or not, we'll see. But in the meantime, it does paint a rosy picture for these pharma biotech sector companies, and VTRS is in a good spot to buy with low risk, maybe a risk 50 cents or something. And, you know, maybe back to this level, here, and look for a few dollars or more. So that's the idea. If you like these ideas, hit that like button. If you want to get notified when they come out, hit that subscribe. You only get notified 3 times a day, so don't worry. You know, if you're a normal, busy person, like, you don't have to watch all the videos, obviously, but you could. And if you want just to keep up with me in general, head over to stockscommunity.com. You can just ask me questions over there about what you want to know. You can try it out. You get 20% off if you use code Q4. That's Q, you know, the letter Q and then 4. So give it a shot for 7 days. It's like 20-ish bucks, $25. I'll see you in the next one. Good luck.
This is Sam Putnam. This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.